Hello, I'm Vincent Lujan, and today I'll be analyzing the market mix of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or as I will be referring to them throughout my presentation, TMNT, from its release in 1984 to the modern day. So that's my time span. Alright, next slide. Sorry. Okay. So looking at the product, originally from the 1980s is when they first released. Mirage Studios, which was the company, I guess, the comic book studio that originally was founded in 1983. They made the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic in 1984. And it was originally made as a parody of the more popular superhero comics at the time. But Mirage saw huge success with their TMNT comic, and they started hiring more people to work on it shortly thereafter. And by 1987, Mirage actually licensed to Playmate Toys, and they began production of the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figure toys. And then it just grew from there. Honestly, in the 1990s, that's when their peak revenue was. So we'll get into that later. Next slide. Okay. Now looking at the product now. The brand's most recent activity is as follows. In 2021, Mirage Studios sold Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle to Viacom, which Viacom is the parent company to Nickelodeon. In 2023, Nickelodeon, or Viacom, however you want to... It was Nickelodeon. They released a new toy line based off of their newest movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. They also made this new logo, which I included on the slide there. That's their newest logo for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Both of the movie and the toys that came along with the movie, they saw a huge success in younger fans, it's the newer generation of fans is what this movie was attracting. Looking at the product in the future is kind of what I'm going into with this one is Viacom plans to release an R-rated movie, and with that, new collectibles to kind of more market towards that older audience that might still be interested in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I know there's a lot of collectors out there, and I'll talk about that here later. But this just kind of shows how the brand has innovated and adapted to the changing times. Anyways, continuing on. So, looking at the price back in the 1980s, trying to find a good spot for my camera. I feel like I put a lot of logos. Sorry. Looking at the price back in the 1980s, so like I already mentioned, the action figures, they were produced by Playmate Toys. Playmate sold these figures for averaging around $10, which was, pretty reasonable for the time. It made them accessible to most families, and that's how they became so popular as toys. The action figures almost always featured the turtles, or they sold the villains even, like Shredder. They came with the little weapons that they had, so that was kind of what came with the toy, was their little plastic weapons. Now I'll be analyzing the pricing in the modern day. So, here we go. Keep moving my camera around, but alright. So, from that $10 price range, it's kind of gone up drastically. It's now averaging around $40 just for one of the figurines. This picture is kind of irrelevant for the modern time. This product is being sold on Amazon, but it's all four of them for $40. So that was pretty rare. Most of the figures I saw, they were only, there was like one of them, and it was $40. So this is kind of in the style of how they used to look back in the 1980s. So besides the point, continuing on, most of the other playsets that are out there, especially after this new movie that came out in 2023, they're usually ranging from the $60 to $100 price range. But what this means for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a toy brand, there's been a 300% increase in their prices for their toys since 1987, which is kind of crazy, but I mean, inflation, so it just makes sense. Anyways, continuing on, we're going to look at the places they were sold. They sold their product back in the day, so move my camera up there. Alright. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they started out in the US, obviously, but they quickly spread to Japan, and that was especially fueled by the 1989 release of the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES for short. But they came out with a video game, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle video game for the NES in 1989. And obviously Nintendo, Japanese company, but that's when Ninja Turtles really took off in Japan. At this point in time, they hadn't really entered Europe, and I'll talk about that a little more here in a sec. But their toys were widely sold in the U.S. at major retailers like Walmart, Target, and of course Toys R Us, which sadly is no longer with us. But they were major retailers for toys at the time, so that's where you could find them. The franchise gained popularity in Japan just because of the video game, honestly. And then the show was released there. There was a 1987 animated show that I'll talk about here later. And it kind of it took off in Japan as well. Now next, I will look at the modern day. Kind of just going back and forth between the modern and the oldie. So now looking at the places where we can find them right now, TMNT products. Nowadays, most of the original figures, you can find them still. They're a little more pricey than they were back when they were $10, but you can find them usually on places like eBay. Amazon has good replica ones, as I kind of already showed on my previous slide. But yeah, some of these figures, they're dating back to the 1987 release of when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was first making toys. So, despite the online shifts, I mean, just finding them on Amazon, on eBay, they're still in major retailers. Most of any Walmart, most of any Target you go into, you will be able to find the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toy, T-shirt, watch. I mean, you'll find anything. I don't have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle watch, but you can find a lot of products. They've diversified quite quite a bit. Moreover, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles' popularity began in the U.S., in Japan, and I was kind of hinting towards this. They've also now entered successfully into European markets, and this is kind of it's a new development for them, but they're seeing much profit, especially after that movie, that 2023 Mutant Mayhem movie. And it seems that they've just adapted well to the modern time, especially since Viacom took them over. And they're just doing good. Alright. Moving into promotion. Time that. Okay. So, promotion back in the day. Kind of already talked about a lot of this. So, starting out as a comic book, it kind of had more gritty tones. It was darker, it was more gritty. But Mirage saw potential, so they made it a show in 1987. And it was less dark, it was more kid-friendly, and it released alongside the original 1987 action figures, which saw huge success. Captivating kids, Mirage saw even more success, possible, so of course they took it, and they released the 1990 hit film, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and up until this point, it was the highest grossing film of all time, making $180.5 million globally, which was record-breaking for the time. But, talking about promotion, kind of already talked about this, but in 1989, the NES game, it appealed to younger gamers in Japan, and overall, all of these strategies combined, they were crucial in establishing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a beloved franchise. So, moving on to the modern day promotion. I've already kind of touched on a lot of this stuff as well. Yeah, that works. Maybe right here. Okay. And, just looking at promotion in the recent years, we see that in 2023, they made a new children's film called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. It made, breaking records even compared to the 1980 version, but it made around $200 million worldwide. Comparing that with the production of the new toys based on this film, they've seen a lot of success in recent years. But, these toys being sold in major retailers, like I previously mentioned, and they've moved into the online market as well, so Amazon has a lot of their toys. But now looking to the future, Viacom, I've also mentioned this, is they plan to release an R-rated movie literally on Christmas. So this Christmas, 2025, there's going to be a R-rated movie called The Last Ronin, and it's based on their comic book of the same name. And it's going to come along with some collectibles, which will appeal to older fans. It's going to be hopefully a big success for them. Now moving into my closing statement. I had a lot of fun researching this subject. This project was pretty interesting. I had never done anything like this. But this franchise left a significant mark on the 1990s and continues to capture the attention of both young and old audiences. With Viacom's exciting plans, the legacy lives on. They're not just focusing on kids with new movies and toys, but they're also catering to adults with collectible items and R-rated films, which is I'm pretty excited to watch that. I'll definitely watch it. Seems interesting.